All right, so we are back. Another Music is My Business podcast. Sitting here chopping it up with the members from the Sync Producer Hub community. So super excited to see everybody in here. Drop in the chat. Let me know where you guys are from. Let me know what you do so I can see who's in the building. I have news that I want to talk about first that I think it's interesting. And then we'll open it up and kind of do like our normal Q&A. If you have a question and you want to come up on camera and ask your question, then just raise your hand on the call and then I'll bring you up. And then just keep your hand up, if there's a few people that have questions, and I'll just kind of, work down the list. Or if you just want to drop your question in the chat, you can do that as well. Because I know, hey, you may be eating and it may be dinner time for you, and don't nobody want to see that. So just drop it in the chat, and then we'll answer it. So first thing, it's been a minute since I've been on here. I've like low key forgot how to stream and podcast and all of that stuff. So I am back. I have been gone for a minute, at least from, live streaming and stuff like that, because we had a baby and that requires a lot of time. And recently, for the past couple weeks, the baby decided she wanted to sleep throughout the night. So that means mommy and daddy's getting some sleep, which means our schedule is now opening back up to where we can kind of, add more to our plates and things like that as far as scheduling is concerned. So I see Darrell Fuller in the building. What's good? Or Spaces from Louisiana. G-Fi and Cali, music producer. We got Matthew from France, but in Guadalajara, Mexico right now. We got G5 clicking on React. Heart gives you emoji options to raise your hand. And other. Oh, appreciate that. Thanks for dropping that in the chat, G. So it's been a minute. So I'm super excited to be back and streaming live because this allows me to just connect and hang out with you guys. We will also be bringing the live music reviews back soon, super soon, probably sooner than I think. So we can get that started because I've been getting hit up about that for the past 4 months. So we definitely got to bring that back. But I want to talk about something that I came across today. This is what is today? It's the 17th. And I just heard about this today. I seen somebody post about it on my YouTube channel. So I was like, what? Let me check it out. And then and I found it and verified it, and it was actually true. So Music Xray. If you haven't heard of Music Xray, it's a company. It's kind of like a pay to submit kind of thing where they have relationships with, or let's put it this way, publishers, sync agents, different companies, industry professionals use this website to facilitate submissions from artists, producers, songwriters, things like that, right? And in order for you to submit something to a company, like you may see a brief from a company that's looking for whatever. In order to submit, there's usually a fee attached with that. Now, I've used Music Xray a few times in the past. Actually have signed a couple licensing deals with companies through Music Xray. I haven't gotten any placements with those companies, mostly because after we did the deal, I haven't really heard much from those companies. So I don't know. I know one of the publishers. I'm sure I could probably reach out and see what's up, but nothing ever happened, and that's not to say that Music Xray is Music Xray's fault. Just the relationship was just never nurtured. So do I think Music Xray is legit? Yes, I think it's legit. They're a service, like they do what they say they're going to do. And it's the companies that's using them. Like, if someone has had a bad experience, usually it's between the company that is using the Music Xray service to facilitate the submissions that's dropping the ball, or something going wrong. And I think they offered like some other services or whatever, but I don't know too much about those. The only time I used was just like to pitch to a couple publishers that I could not reach out to, that I couldn't reach out to directly. So that's when I just went ahead and submit. So I wanna read this article. They are shutting down, by the way. I don't know if I said that, but they're shutting down. So they will no longer be in existence. So I'm gonna read this article that they posted on, I guess is their blog or something, right from their website. So it says, "Winding down music Xray. Dear friends, it's with a mix of emotion that I announced the decision to wind down Music Xray. Despite our ambitions and the groundbreaking work we achieved, it has become clear that our full vision for the company will remain unrealized. Our aim was to transform the pay-to-submit model by fully integrating technology to streamline the process for both artists and industry professionals. This would have allowed us to eliminate submission fees altogether." So I guess their goal was to ultimately eliminate the submission fees, but that never happened. This would have allowed us to eliminate submission fees altogether, making it simpler for decision makers to find the right music without friction. We have come close to achieving this vision several times throughout our journey. However, despite these near successes, we now face the reality that our mission may no longer be viable. Thus, it is time to pass the torch to the vibrant community of innovative entrepreneurs continuously emerging in the music industry. I wish to extend my deepest gratitude to our vast community, over 450,000 artist users, 1,200, that's a lot of people, 1,200 industry professionals, and more than 1.4 million music fans who trusted Music Xray as their platform of choice. Your engagement and trust fueled our efforts and achievements. And then they go on to talk about key milestones and things like that. And then they say they'll cease accepting submissions effectively immediately, with the last day being Tuesday, May 7th, 2024. They said their industry professionals will have an additional week to review their inboxes and manage pending submissions before final payouts are processed. And then the operational closure of the site will occur on May 15th. So that literally happened like a couple days ago, because it's like May 17th at the time of this podcast recording, followed by a few months dedicated to finalizing payouts and officially winding down the company. So this is from the co-founder and CEO, Mike McCready, and there's some other stuff in there that, you know, I'm not going to waste your time reading, but that is what's going on with Music Xray. The pay to submit thing, as far as Music Xray is concerned, is done. So now, like, my thoughts are, it's just like, yo, is this the end of the pay to submit era? Because I feel like it's something that's been around for a while. You know, we know a few other companies out there where it's like a pay to submit model. But now I feel like, at least I know the people that follow me, like I always say, like, yo, just go directly to the source. There's too many companies that have opened it up for you to just submit directly to them. So, you know, it's like a combination of the publishers just kind of opening the doors and saying, hey, we're accepting submissions, and producers and artists and songwriters becoming educated and now learning, oh, like these places, these publishers don't want to keep us out. They actually want our music. Like, this is how we find them. Now we can just go directly to the music libraries, the music supervisors, the sync agents, etc. So I don't know. It feels like it could be the end of that. On the flip side, while I don't recommend like going pay to submit, just because it can get costly, especially when you're starting out and you're like trying to figure out like what works, what doesn't, like that can add up, right? But I understand why it was there, because if you've ever been on the receiving end of a brief, right? You know, you send a brief out and you're asking for submissions. It gets very, very crazy very fast. And it's like the craziest thing, because you'll give people like a specific set of directions, what to do, how to send it, and people will still somehow do their own thing. And it makes it really hard to manage, it also makes it hard to weed out people who aren't really serious, more people who don't follow directions. So I understood the pay to submit because you're going to weed a lot of that out, because usually if you're putting up money for something, you're going to be a lot more cautious with like how you send it, making sure like things don't get messed up, because you don't want to just throw money away, right? You want to make sure you're doing it right, make sure they get it, and make sure you're giving yourself the best chance to make a return on that investment. So it weeds out a lot of just foolishness and just unnecessary headaches. So I understood it from that perspective. However, I think it also makes it hard for people who may have the talent and the skills to be able to get a foot forward if they don't have the budget to continuously submit and like get the feedback and things like that. So I'm curious to hear what you guys think about that. Have you all, any of you, ever used Music Xray currently, in the past? Did you plan on using it? Have you seen any success from it? Let me know. If you want to come up, just raise your hand, or if you just want to drop it in the chat, that's fine as well. G5. All right, let's bring you up, man. Let me get you unmuted. Okay, you should be able to unmute yourself now.
Okay. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Yeah. So I haven't used Xray. I mean, I heard of the only other platform I heard of was Taxi, where you kind of pay to submit things.
Yep.
But yeah, I get what you're saying as far as like, it weeds out people who are more serious as far as submitting things. So on the receiving end of receiving submissions, I get that. Um, but I haven't used it personally, but I get why they would do it. But yeah, that could be costly, because I know if you're paying, I don't know how much Music Xray would charge per submission, or if they did charge per submission.
It was
Um,
like, I think it was like five to 25. I think it would depend on like what it was, but it was a range, and it depended on what, because I think the publishers could set whatever price they wanted to set, so it varied.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I know that could get expensive, and plus if it's just like, $5, $10 every time, and then I don't know. I personally chose not to go that route as far as pay to play,
Yeah.
and so I don't know. I just yeah. I'm not against it for those who want to do it, but it's just not for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely understand that. For me, it was like, I know it was early in my career, and I was just like, yo, like let's try it. I tried Taxi,
Mhm.
um, I tried Music Xray, and then I tried just going direct. And for me, it's like I seen more success just going direct to the publishers or the libraries. So I just kept doing that. I was like, well, this is working. And I'm sure those other services have worked for other people, but yeah, I'm with you. It just wasn't for me at the end of the day. At least not to be able to see like repeatable results. So yeah, man. Thanks for chiming in on that. Darrell Fuller says, I've used them with no success. Um, yeah. So what, like, Darrell, what was your experience like? Like, was it you kind of pitched to a publisher, or was it like one of their other opportunities that they usually have? Because they mentioned having something about or something with like SoundCloud or something like that, some type of partnership, which I don't really know what that was. Like, I stopped understanding SoundCloud after like 2015 or something like that. I just stopped using it. Okay, bet. Daryl's gonna turn his camera on it. We'll pull him up. And I always get asked, man, about this service, I get asked about Taxi and Song Trader. I get asked about that. I've actually seen some people comment on some videos about Song Trader. They've gotten, some placements and stuff like that. So, we'll see. All right. Let's get Darrell in here. All right. You should unmute yourself now. Darrell, what's up, bro?
Yeah. What up, man? What up, man? Yeah, the situation I had with him was, I do say the price was different based on the opportunity or based on the brief or whatever the case may be.
Okay.
And you basically paid it and sent the information, sent the track in or whatever, and they would send like this preset email back to you, basically denying it or whatever the case may be. But it was like this preset email that I've always gotten. I've never gotten anything different than that.
Okay.
Now, I will say that was in the beginning of my career of it all, so it could possibly well just been the music wasn't good enough at that point. I'm still, still trying to transition into the sync world now.
Yeah.
But it could have just been the music. I just hated paying for it, man, especially when I found out later on there was ways to get to them directly. So that was my issue with it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's another thing too, man. It's like if you're starting out, it seems like a cool opportunity, but then you don't know because you don't get the feedback. It's just like, no, it's denied, and then you're just like, all right, well, why? You know what I mean?
That's what I always wanted was the feedback. I wanted to know what was the difference because even at that point, man, I was sending them tracks with verses, bro, like repeated verses and hooks.
Okay.
And it just wasn't, now later on finding out that it just wasn't the right structure, so to say.
Okay.
To get to them. So yeah, I just hated I had to pay for it and then found out I could have just been sending it directly.
Yeah.
And that was my biggest issue of it all.
Yep. Those learning experiences, man. I did the same thing. So I think that's one thing that I think made Taxi stand out a little bit more for me was because they did at least give you feedback. Like if they didn't forward your song, they would at least kind of give you, some pointers on things you could do to improve the track or things that they liked about it. So you can at least get a little bit of that, not just, pay money and then it's just like no. And then
right. Man, I'll tell you, I had spent so much money and I was so burnt by that time. And I've seen Taxi before.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw the amount that it was, and I was like, "Oh man, I don't want to spend no more money, man." I just never did it, bro.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I got up there, man. I think it was probably I was in college at the time, so I think I used one of my refund checks to to make that plunge.
Yeah.
And then I went to the whole little conference and stuff like that, which was cool, man. Like I learned a lot. For me at that time, what was it like? I want to say 2008, maybe something like that. It wasn't a ton of information out there, so to be able to go to conferences, that was huge and eye opening for me. So I got a lot of value from that, and then that just kind of fueled me to to keep going and keep pushing. But just had to figure out my path.
Yeah, man. That's what happened to me, man. I came across people like yourself and this other guy named Jesse something. I can't think of his last name.
I know, yeah.
But yeah. So just learning like the structures and different things like that, it just kind of opened my eyes. Like, oh, that's why they wasn't picking. So then I had to change the whole direction, and then I started messing with artists again, and then that got tiresome. So now here I am back. In the sync world trying to learn again, brother.
Yep, I feel you, man. How was the artist thing? Like I know a lot of producers who come over from sync, they're like, yo, I'm burnt out. Like what
oh man, bro. Artists will work you to death, man, for for nothing, man. And it's crazy because like I have a few that I work with, and I just never believed in working with everybody. I've
Mm-hmm.
always been picky about who I'm using because I wanted a certain sound or whatever.
Yeah.
But man, when you put in the work and then they may like it today, and then they've listened at it for a week straight, back to back, and now it's like we want to change something. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yep.
And so yeah, it's been crazy, man. And then, traveling and being in studio sessions and all that, man, I'm getting older, bro. I don't want to do that no
I
more. I
feel
just
you.
want to sit in the comfort of my own home and make what I do.
Yep. And
Yeah.
that's exactly where I was when I kind of reached that turning point. Because I when it was just me, staying up late in studio sessions, it was cool. And then, like you said, you get older, you start building a family, and
Oh yeah.
I had no desire to be up to like 3 in the morning and then come back home smelling like everything that went in and out of the
Huh?
studio, man. Especially in Atlanta, bro. Cause like in Atlanta, every studio smells like weed. So it's just
Uh,
all your clothes. It's just gonna be in there. Um,
Man, I'll tell you this dude funny story, bro. I was out in LA, bro, working with y'all may have heard this guy, man. His name is Irico. You ever heard of Irico?
yeah, yeah,
He
yep.
did uh he did Dunder and all that stuff. So we
Hmm.
was in the studio session with him, and a real cool dude, man. And we got to know him and like personally, phone number exchange and a whole nine.
Hmm.
So we had the studio session, bro, and this guy and his people was like eating on his car, and we were like, "Yo, man, like, why y'all eating on the dude's car?" And we just kind of conversating with him. Little
Wait,
did I
like
know,
you said eating, like eating on,
yeah,
like eating on their car, like they had their food on his car.
yeah, yeah. So little did we know, man, we was into it with some people, and at the time they kept telling me, "Oh yeah, it's an NBA boy," and I was like, "NBA boy." I didn't know who it was. I'm just like NBA boy. Well, we just trying to find out why y'all eating on the car. Come to find out, it was NBA young boy before he got popping,
Hmm.
and could have been a real real bad situation.
Yeah.
And like those are the kind of situations that I'm like, man, I don't have time for this. I'm too old for this, bro.
Yep.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
feel you. Yep, man.
Yeah, man.
Sync is just, it allows you to work wherever you want to work from.
Yeah.
Get straight to the point, straight to the music, and yeah, it's I like it. I like it over here, obviously.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'm digging in, bro. Just learning some stuff, man. Just from me, man. I'm sure everybody else on here will probably say the same, man.
Hmm.
I appreciate what you're doing here, bro. Putting this information out for us, man. Because, man, without it, you just don't know.
Thank you. Yeah, I
Yeah, man.
agree. I
Yeah, man.
agree. You don't know what you don't know, and without people sharing it, man, it's like, yeah, I have to share it, man. I have to share it. So
Yeah, man. Yeah,
I
man.
appreciate you guys, rocking
That's
with me,
dope,
and
bro.
I'm glad that the information's helping for sure.
Absolutely, man.
Yep.
Appreciate it, man.
No problem, man. Take it easy.
Yes, sir.
All right, peace. G5 says sync gives you flexibility in your opinion. Yeah, I agree, man. It's like, and it's no pressure. I mean, you can get briefs from companies, and you have a choice. Like, either I can work on this or not. You know what I mean? If you got too much on your plate, you can pass, and like, they're not taking it personal. They just like, hey, submit what you can when you can, and we're good. And then you can kind of pick and choose, even like the style of music you want to make. If you want to specialize in ambient music with one company, and then another company you're working on an anthemic hip hop album, you have that choice. So it gives you ultimate flexibility, allows you to be as creative as you want to be, and just kind of do things on your terms, which is what I love. Feedback can be so useful. Facts. Feedback is critical, man. That's how you grow. If you don't get feedback, you don't know what to fix, you don't know what to improve, and you don't get better, and you just kind of stay stuck. So having that feedback is just critical, and that's, like I said before, that's why I do the live music reviews, because you can have all the courses and all of the steps to take on how to find publishers and submit to them. But if you're not getting feedback on if your music is ready and the problem is the music, like, you're going to still hear no anyway. So the only way to get everything to work together is like to get the feedback. In Sync Producer Hub, we have the peer feedback section, because sometimes you just need like another set of ears, especially after like listening and mixing something. Having that extra set of ears is crucial. So definitely need that. So yeah, absolutely. If you guys have any other questions, definitely drop them in the chat. I know in the coming days, I'll be creating some more behind the scenes content for the community. I've been waiting on a publisher to hit me back, literally like since, man, I want to say it was like the end of last year. It was way before we had the baby. So I've been waiting for them to hit me back, because we were like in talks of, putting some music together, like working on an album for them. So they finally hit me back and gave me the green light to start working on some stuff. So you guys will be seeing some more behind the scenes videos. In fact, I'm gonna start from scratch and just start from the brief and like break that down, and then you'll see my whole workflow for that stuff. So it should be pretty cool. I'm excited about this project. I am also their deliverables. It's a little intense. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was reading through the guide and I was just like, okay, that's like their naming convention. So I'm gonna show y'all all of that, because I want y'all to see like how crazy it can get sometimes. So definitely be on the lookout for that. G5 says your live music reviews and your Road to 10 Placements course has been 100% crucial to me. They are and have been my foundation. Glad to hear it, man. I love it. Road to 10 Placements, man. I tell you what, I was talking to another a coaching student, and we were kind of talking about how that came about, and I'm glad I documented it. Because it was really a personal goal. Like, Road to 10 Placements was never meant to even be a course in the first place. But it was a personal goal for me to get 10 placements after getting like the first placement. So I want to see if I could do it again, except like times 10. But then I documented it and just put it online, and, was just kind of writing down what I was doing. And I'm glad I did, man, because it has helped so many producers take that step from just not knowing anything about Sync, or maybe knowing a little bit about it, having heard about it, to now having the clarity to be able to move forward and say, okay, I know all the steps I need to take to like get started in this space. So it's exciting to see, see that helping people. Matthew says behind the scene video is really a good motivation. Yeah, I'm glad. Like, I know me personally, that used to motivate me as like a young producer growing up, watching other producers just kind of go through their workflow. You know what I mean? Jermaine Dupri used to do what was it? Was it a day in the life or something like that on YouTube years ago? I don't know if he still does it. But that was super inspirational, because he would literally like just take you in like a day in the studio while they're working, and just, you just kind of get the insight on the creative process and stuff. So I think seeing that is really, really helpful, because a lot of times, we talk about stuff on the front end, and, things sound cool in theory, but like, what does it actually look like to do the work and like go through the process? That's what I want to give you guys here, and in the hub. So glad you're enjoying it. Indeed. So Music Xray, they're done. Taxi, I don't know if Taxi, I feel like they kind of have like roots in the ground. They've been around for a long time, and I feel like they offer more value than like a service that only facilitates like the pitching, you know what I mean? So I don't think Taxi will be, shutting down anytime soon. There's like one other company, I just cannot remember the name, that I used to submit to occasionally. Nothing ever came from that. I probably spent way too much money submitting through them. Song Trader, I don't know if Song Trader's like subscription based or per submission based, but those are literally like the only ones. Like I know there's like some newer companies that kind of pop up. I had a couple of producers ask me about one specifically, where they've been running ads and stuff like that. And my rule of thumb is I stay away from companies that like claim to do everything. Like there's those companies like, we'll develop you as an artist, we'll distribute your music on all these platforms, we'll get you radio promo, we'll also get you into sync licensing, get your music in TV, film, video games. Like they literally do everything. Like I run away from those companies, because my mindset behind it is just like, it's like if you do everything, then I feel like something's not being done efficiently, unless you have like specialized teams just over that stuff. But I just feel like it's hard to, like, I want people who specialize. Like I want a publisher who publishes music for sync, period. Like that's what they focus on. So if I want TV placements, I'm going to go to that specialist that focuses just on that one thing, and that like they're using all of their energy on that one thing, versus a company that's just like they're all over the place. They're trying to do everything. It just seems like it could just be a mess. In my opinion, that's how I feel. So yeah, if they claim to do everything, I stay away from them. And then look for the companies that's just like, they're niched down to just one or two things. Darrell said that's been his experience as well. Yeah, 100%. 100%. And I just feel like you see better results from that. And then now these days, man, you can upload your own stuff to iTunes and Spotify like that. Well, I don't know. Today, I may not want to upload your music to Spotify anymore. The way they're cutting employees, they're cutting the like writers. I don't know why the creatives keeps taking the cut like in these budgets. It's like we're supplying you the content that you use to be able to make money and put ads on stuff and like do the deals with these publishers. I don't understand it, but we always get the short end of the stick. It's crazy. So I don't know. We'll see how this all pans out. I think G has a question. Let's bring him up. All right.
Okay. Yep. All right. I was just curious if you knew if Music Xray ever had if they ever got to the point to where they did any type of meetups, because I was wondering, like, if not that they had to do that, but because that's what Taxi does.
Yeah.
But I was wondering, because if they didn't, I don't know if that would have helped their mission and what they were trying to do and accomplish as a business. So I don't know if if they ever did anything like that or not.
That's a good question. I don't think they did. I mean, not that I know of. And again, I mean, I didn't spend a bunch of time on the site outside of those few submissions that I did. I'm looking on their site now, but I don't think they did. And I think you're right, man. I think if there was some type of sense of community and like, even if someone got rejected after paying to submit to a company, there's some type of event that they can go to get more knowledge and information. You know what I mean? To continue to grow. So I don't think they did. I think it was just, simply a service. I could be wrong, but I don't see anything like that.
Or even
It's
something like this, something where people could just, whether it be a forum or I don't know, online meetup or something, to where there's you see another person on the other side and to talk
human.
to.
Yeah.
Human.
Yeah, not that I know of, unless it was something where, well, I know they have the blog, but I don't know. Do y'all still read blogs? Like, is blogging still a thing?
I personally don't, but
Yeah, but, I mean,
is that what she's saying?
yeah, I haven't. I guess like if I'm Googling something and then it just happens to be on a blog. But yeah, some of these companies that are on here, like, these are like some of the same companies I seen like when I was pitching. One of these I actually went to directly and just pitched directly. And did we ever? I think I signed a few tracks with them. So yeah, these prices are all over the place. 12, 20. So I don't know. Like, I'm curious. I don't know if they're stopping because they're just not getting a lot of people submitting, or if they just don't want to do it anymore. I don't know. I'm curious as to like what the exact reason would be, or
I was
if it
just
was
curious.
just if it's just too much.
I was just curious. I didn't know if you knew or not.
Yep.
So I'm looking too right now. I'm just kind of like looking online, trying to find information.
Yeah.
But no.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Yep. No problem. Any other questions? Drop them in the chat. We got a few more minutes, and then we'll hop off this joint. But this was good. This was good catching up with everybody. But yeah, I don't know. I think this, obviously, like, things have just been shifting like crazy in every industry, just with the growth in technology. Now we have AI. I seen somebody in a comment on the Instagram post that, like, it was because of AI. So I don't know. Like, I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not. But, just a lot of things are just changing because technology is changing. Access to information is changing. So I don't know. Kizzy has a question. It says, how to maximize the global market with language. That's a great question, Kizzy. I have a producer and a writer that I'm gonna have on the podcast. He took the course as well, and he's been seeing like amazing results. But he can actually rap. I got to bring him on because this story is crazy, and I don't want to tell it, but he can rap like bilingual, so English and Spanish, right? And he's been capitalizing on that in sync. So I think a way to maximize it with language is if you know multiple languages. Was that you that said you speak Spanish as well? Super dope. So I think, especially in sync, man, like using that, because a lot of times they want like other languages. I've worked on shows where it's based in a certain part of the world, and they want music that's authentic to that region to go in the show. So if you can do that, that's dope. And then you also may even be able to reach out to publishers in other countries and be able to offer them, music that works for that region, but then also has like your unique flavor, just being, where you're from as well. So that's how I would do it, man. Just like using everything that you have. If you're creating a song, maybe create two versions of that song, a English and a Spanish, or English and a French, or whatever language you speak, so that you kind of have that. And I feel like that adds value to the publisher, because when those unique briefs come up where they're like, yo, we need something in a specific language, you can be a go-to source for that. So yeah, Kizzy says, because I speak 8 of them. Yo, jeez, that's a lot of that's a lot of language. That's fire though, because like how many writers or producers can speak 8 different languages like fluently and be able to write songs? So you'll be able to solve like 8 different problems just right off the rip because you know 8 different languages. So that's dope. Everyone can't do that. So that's kind of like your unique, I guess, value proposition. G5 says, when you dream, what language do you dream in? Your brain's like, yo, which one do I want to use tonight? Hilarious. But that's dope. But yeah, I'm gonna bring my guy on soon. We were talking about it, and he's been crushing it. He's just been crushing it. So definitely gonna have him on so we can have that conversation and ask whatever questions we have for him. French usually. Nice. Now, are you based in where are you based out of, Kizzy? Y'all make me jealous, man. I wish I would have. My Spanish teacher tried to get me to stay, like, take a 3rd year of Spanish in high school, because I did really well in it. 2 years straight A's. She was like, you should really take it. Like, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be valuable. And I don't know. My ignorant self at the time was, I was trying to get out of school early. I was like, man, I don't want to add another class to my schedule. And I didn't take it. And I haven't used it, and if you don't use it, you lose it. So, based in ATL, dope. Yeah, that's super dope and unique. So yeah, I would definitely, Kizzy, like, create some songs in different languages, have an English, and then flip it and do another language. I think that would be dope and unique. Cause like, how many submissions would a publisher receive from someone who's like giving them the same song in multiple languages? You know, I think that would stand out. G5 says, learning Spanish is one of the best things that I've done. But yeah, just like anything else, use it or lose it. Yep, facts. We went to the Dominican Republic, and that's when I was like, man, I should have kept speaking Spanish, learning, and I should have took that 3rd year. That's when I really would have loved it, because we were in a situation, and it's funny how a lot of the staff there are usually bilingual, and they'll turn their English on and off when they want. The moment we had an issue, boy, they went straight full Spanish, and I can understand like 1% of what they were saying. And they were like talking to each other. It's like, that's when it gets weird, because it's like, I know y'all saying something sketchy. I just don't even know what you're saying, so I can't even say anything. It was crazy. So yeah, that made me want to brush up on my Spanish. So I may have to. I'm sure there's apps and stuff. I may have to download something. Yeah, code switch for sure. So that's it, guys. This was dope. This was fun. Appreciate y'all coming through. We're definitely gonna do this again. Obviously, make it a weekly thing. What's next week? Yeah, I think we have another one next week. Also, there will be a free masterclass that's coming up with my guy, Grammy Award-winning producer. I'm going to be announcing that soon, so you guys can be a part of that, where we're gonna do some dope things. So definitely don't want to miss out on that. If you are listening to this podcast and you're not a member of Sync Producer Hub, you're slacking and you're missing out on like the dopest sync community at the moment, because it's full of dope people. It's full of dope information. So definitely make sure you join. The link will be in the show notes or in the video description, depending on where you're listening to this podcast, or you can just go to syncproducerhub.com. Come on in, join the fam, so you can be a part of these calls, get your questions answered, and level up in sync. All right, so that's it, guys. I will catch you on the next one, and I'll see you guys on the inside. Peace.